Wargamers, Games Workshop has announced that pre-orders for the Kroot Hunting Pack Army Box are going up this weekend, and that means that by the end of the month, we will not only have new Kroot models in our hands, but also the new Tau Codex. So let's take a look at what the reveal of pre-orders means, and importantly, one particular detail that raises some important questions about what will actually be in the Codex. So, right. With the pre-orders going up this weekend, like I said, it means that we'll have the Army book by the end of the month, which is super exciting. This Army box release, though, is only the first wave of Kroot. So it doesn't have, the Trail Shaper, it doesn't have the Lone Spear, it doesn't have Kroot Hounds, none of that. It just has 20 Carnivores, 2 Shapers, 3 Rampagers, and 1 Krootok. So it has the War Shaper and the Flesh Shaper that we've already known about for a long time. We've seen this content for a while. Nothing surprising or new there, just a whole bunch of awesome sculpts in a brand new Army box, and it is exciting as heck. So, of course, I will do my best to get my hands on one, right? No guarantees. But of course, also alongside this is a special edition Codex and a pack of data cards in a nice little cardboard box, right? They do note that there's like an elastic slip that goes over it, so you can easily put them in and take them out and store them there without having to deal with like a lid or anything like that. Okay, cool, great. It is a little weird, of course, though, that this Codex is coming out in a Kroot Army box, which has a very different aesthetic, very different theme than the Tau Empire art as a whole, and so it's a little bit of a juxtaposition, just like the Kroot against the Tau are a juxtaposition, that we have the new Kroot models coming out, but then this very classic Tau aesthetic in the printed materials. So that's interesting, right? As always. But with the data cards, they say specifically that there are 44 data cards. They give us a breakdown of exactly what that is. And they also mention specifically that there are 38 data sheets covered in these cards, right? So that means that there are 38 data sheets in the Codex, and that raises some important questions. Essentially, what this means is that we will be losing 4 units to Legends with the release of the new Codex. Currently, there are 37 data sheets in the Codex, not including Forge World, so this isn't dealing with Tetras going to Legends or Ivara going to Legends or anything like that, although, I mean, it's not unlikely that things like the Tetra will be sunset with this Codex, right? That's probably something that's going to happen, but it's not something that we can address with these details about the data sheets and the data cards and all that, right? So looking just at Codex-specific units, mainline units, we have 37 data sheets in the index. And if we are adding 5 units, including the 3 Shapers, right, the War Shaper, the Flesh Shaper, and the Trail Shaper, plus the Rampagers and the Lone Spear, those are 5 brand new units. So we have 42 possible units here. We have the 37 that we begin with, plus 5 equals 42 possible. We know there are 38 actual data cards in this set, which means we have a loss of 4. Now, of course, one of those is going to be the standard Kroot Shaper data sheet, right? We are losing that for sure. We are gaining these 3 specialist Shapers. That totally makes sense. And so we have these 3 other units that are going to go to Legends, right? They're just not going to be in the Codex anymore. And so what are those? Probably Unshi, probably Unva. Those seem like really safe bets, right? Because both of those are fine cast models. Both of them are very old sculpts that haven't gotten a lot of attention, and they just seem like things that probably Games Workshop would sunset instead of trying to keep alive. And we've seen this pattern of these older characters disappearing from codices as they're released in 10th edition. Maybe it's just time for Anva and Anshi to leave. Same thing with Longstrike, right? Longstrike is a model that they haven't had in stock very consistently in the past, right? And it's a fine cast model. It's just a dude hanging out of a cockpit. Super easy to proxy with just a tank, kind of spotter or commander model that comes with the actual kit. So it just seems like another kind of low-hanging fruit, but not quite as low-hanging fruit as Anva and Anshi. If not Longstrike, we could see things like the fortifications disappear. We could see commanders just condensed down to a single data sheet. I think that's that's kind of likely in some ways, because that would address the number of commanders that you could bring, right? You don't have to you wouldn't have the same options as you would if you had multiple different data cards, but that's not really a problem in 10th edition, right? No one's spamming commanders because their function is different. There's not a lot of value in that. So condensing commanders down to one data sheet seems like needlessly complicated for what they're really trying to do with 10th edition. So I don't think that's going to happen. Maybe they put marksmen and snipers in in Legend, because again, that's another fine cast unit, and there's the issue of scale with the marksmen for sure. But then also kind of these issues that they've created by making drones tokens. You might also see things like tactical drone units being sunset because of that. All of those seem like they could be things that we see, but my guess is that the 4 units that we lose are just the Shaper and then the 3 characters, Unva, Shi, and Longstrike. It just seems like that's probably the direction that they're going to go. That's where my money is, but only time will tell. We will get a look very soon at what's in here. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Are Unva, Unshi, Longstrike, and the Shaper the 4 that we're going to be losing, or are we looking at something else? Either way, let me know. Let's have a conversation about it. And as always, thanks for watching and happy wargaming. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. If you stuck around to this point of the video, maybe you want to join our Discord community as well. There's a link in the description below. Special thanks to all my supporters over on Patreon, but especially the folks that you see on your screen now. If you want to help make more invasive wargaming videos, consider joining our community over there as well.